My apologies.
Yeah, who's Charlie?
I'm thinking of Charlie.
Charlie, he walks like this. No, it's another Stooges joke I came. What?
Charlie.
Oh, that one's beautiful.
That's much better than the other now. All right, what's this?
Snap.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting on Tuesday, September 1st. As some of you may be aware, the gavel, we had a little issue with the gavel. Last month I showed up with a rubber mallet. I now have my own gavel with my name on it. So I'd like to hear a motion to review and approve the agenda. Oh, yes.
Madam Chair, through you to the board, if I could amend an item under my report to add the status of the town's sex offender residency bylaw, and this is in light of the Supreme Judicial Court's decision late last Friday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any objections?
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment from the town administrator.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's been passed. I do have one little announcement. The Ayer Recycle Your Reusables will be held on Saturday, October 17th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. At the middle school in Shirley. So hopefully you'll all be able to attend that. Okay. All right. Anybody here for public input? Okay. Mark.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is we have a request from one of our property owners for a sewer abatement. This is at the Hillside Mobile Home Park on Groton School Road. There was a leak over the winter, and so resulted in, it wasn't discovered for a certain period of time, so it resulted in an excessive water and sewer bill. So this is Mr. Collins, who's the owner, and he requested if we could abate the sewer portion of the bill, since the water,
the excess.
So and we've done this in the past where we have had a leak inside the house and it hasn't gone down the sewer. So what we did was we looked at the past 6 years of what the average usage was for that period of time, and then calculated how much the overage was. And based on that, we're recommending an abatement of $2,453.82 for the sewer portion of the bill only.
So, I mean, you're taking responsibility for the water break of the
Yes.
property, and I understand, obviously, it wasn't showering, just to make it clear, so it didn't go down the drain, so it didn't go in the sewer.
That's correct.
That makes
What
sense.
happened, just so that you understand, we had a home that was abandoned late last fall. By the time I got the judgment for possession and could actually call my plumber to disconnect the home,
Sure.
I believe the freeze had already occurred.
Okay.
Gary?
Is that 11 Groton School Road or 25?
No, 25, next to Jerry.
Okay, and what was the original cost of the sewer? Okay.
So the total bill was, it was $2,173.69 for water and $5,417.45 for the sewer.
I have 2 meters, this is one of 2. And the thing that got my attention, my wife's attention, when I got the bill, was this particular meter was double what it should have been. And that's when I called Mark, and they did check. The problem has since been taken care of, so by having the plumber disconnect the home, it stopped. But again, it happened last fall.
Right.
And you said the average has been 24.53 around there.
The average usage?
Yeah, for sewer. That's what you're
Let's
looking.
see. The average for a similar period of usage is 33,807 cubic feet.
Units. Yeah.
So, yeah, 20, so we're looking to abate 29,110 cubic feet, which is $2,453.82. And it's a little complicated because we have steps. So we have to look at how much is the first step, how much is the second step, how much is the third step.
No, I was just looking for the address, I'm sorry. Motion.
25.
It's 25.
25.
Brothers School.
Yes.
I would make a motion to approve the abatement for $2,453.82 for sewer only for, what was the number?
25.
25 Groton School Road,
Yes.
based on the recommendation presented by Superintendent Wetzel.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye.
Thank you.
Sorry that you had to go through that.
Well, it could have been worse,
Yes,
but
it could have.
Honestly,
we
sir,
caught it.
I appreciate you taking ownership of the water. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, well, the pipe broke wasn't my fault.
Well, I know,
You know,
but
I
it,
mean,
it
but I
did
do-
come onto my property, so.
Yep, no, I appreciate that, so unfortunately, but
And
thank
it,
you.
and it gives us
Oh,
an
it's my
opportunity to
pleasure.
remind him that he's got to upgrade his meter.
Yes.
Yep, there you
yeah.
go.
No, and actually, the Air Department of Public Works is a wonderful organization. You guys are blessed. You're blessed with a nice superintendent. But it could have been much worse, so I was very happy that we caught it when we did. But thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Next on the agenda is, and I don't know whether the Catania Spagna people can pipe in if they would like to, but we've been working with them on, we basically have two agenda items related to this project. As you may know, that they're expanding their facility, they're adding some rail lines and a little building expansion and like a canopy over the tracks. They ended up buying some property from Ardent to expand the facility. And so these are the existing conditions. I'll show the future conditions. So right now there's the blue line is a utility easement that runs through the property that from Nemco Way down to where the orange easement is, there's no pipes in that section of the easement. The water and sewer come in across Ardent's property on an easement and then go down towards New England Way and back of Vitasoy. And way over on the left in the green section is where our Stony Brook pumping station is that we're in the process of upgrading. The also in the lower left corner where it says town, I'd like to just point out too that, you know, I'm an engineer and a lawyer did this drawing, so that's why it's not quite as fancy as I would like, but anyway.
It's gonna bug you all night long.
I thought about doing it over, but
With a cast on.
I didn't know which one it was. I just knew it came from a law. So anyway, and then we also, the town owns that parcel in the lower left corner, and there's a story behind that.
Not the swamp.
A lot of
Is
it's
that the inside
swamp.
of the
Yeah, inside of the track.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of that is swamp. So can we put the next slide up? So here's the expansion. You can see where the crosshatch is. And so basically what they have to do is relocate the water and sewer out of the existing easement and kind of go around their project and under the tracks and over by our Stony Brook station. I don't know if we don't have the mouse. I don't know if that works on there. Yeah, it does. Okay. So here's our Stony Brook station here, and the sewer right now comes down along here, and the water goes down this way, and the sewer ties in at the station. They're going to reroute it around like this. So what we need to do is eliminate, we're proposing to eliminate this easement and this portion of the easement and have a new easement up in this section here. So that's what this current agreement is. It's basically an MOU that says that we're going to execute this so that they then are comfortable with putting in the sewer lines. And then after the new pipes are in, we'll survey it and get the exact meets and bounds of where that easement is and execute the easement agreement. But this basically gives them permission to do that. The second part of the on the agenda item, which we'll get to, is they're requesting a drainage easement for their roof drains only down into this wetlands area. So it's basically clean water just from the roof. And that easement is allowed because of when the land was given to the town by Sandval, there was a statement in the deed that said that any future owners of the property where Catania Spagna is would have the rights to discharge drainage onto that site. So it doesn't require any town meeting vote or any additional execution other than the document that we have here today. Did I cover everything?
That was excellent. Just to interject on that, I don't have a problem with it, but as you know, and the chief knows, we do have issues with that flooding, that swamp, the beavers, and you know, that's a railroad thing.
Yeah.
Is that something that obviously you guys can obviously monitor as well?
Yeah, I've been down in that area quite a few times, and I don't see it reaching up into that area that much. I don't know whether Dan sees it at all.
As chief knows, it reaches, when it gets to it reaches the Wagon Road area.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
And it's all connected, and I know obviously your roof drains aren't going to contribute to it, but obviously we have to come up with a plan that helps everybody. I would think it could affect a new track too.
Well, there's a significant elevation difference between wetlands and grass.
Yeah, you sit much higher, I think, than
Yeah.
we do down on the residential side.
I
So.
mean, I've been there for 5
Excuse me,
years.
could you come forward and speak so that the audience will be able to hear you?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
This is Dan Bracken. He's the facilities engineer.
Hey.
No, I was just, I know Chief has to get on Pan Am, obviously, to open the culvert. I know Arden did some, I didn't know if you had anything to do with that.
We have not had anything to do with that. And I've been with the company for 5 years, and we've never seen the water come up, even up the embankment, never mind, up to the rails.
Take a ride down the Wagon Road. Because
Yeah, I definitely, I noticed it down there, but I've walked in
I
this
think you're right,
area a number of
topography is
times,
much higher
and
where
it
you
does,
are.
it goes up a fair amount. It's not a steep bank, but it's a pretty,
You can see the
gradual
elevation
uphill
lines.
going up.
No, I was more, no offense, I was more concerned about us than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You got waterfront property and you can.
Sometimes.
And one of the
Premium,
one of the other items is going to be that once we have our Stony Brook station all constructed, and then we'll resurvey that easement also and execute that. And I think that's part of the memorandum of understanding.
And you guys are moving fast and furious down there. It's got a lot done in a couple of weeks. It's amazing when I come home at night to see
Yeah.
how much is.
No, we're making some progress, but it's slowed recently.
Gary?
And for the record, it's Catania Spagna, not Spagna. But
Yes, tiny
I
spot.
used to buy oil from them when I had my store in Medford. They're actually from Somerville originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And good company. I wish you all the luck in the world. And I'm so glad you keep your business in Ayer. We appreciate it.
And if you are interested in the history of the company and the olive oil, we have a nice little
The facilities.
demonstration out in the, a little setup out in the front that kind of shows the history and they have been very cooperative on everything we talked about.
And Dan, I think we spoke, I'm sorry, James, I think we spoke by email. I think it was you and I possibly back in the spring when I had some questions about cutting down the trees over the
Yes.
Kane's property.
Yes.
Are you going to do anything, because it looks really nice on Westford Road where you
Yeah.
cleaned all that out? Is that just more just to open that up a little bit? And
No, we're going to do some more cleanup in that area.
Okay, no, it looks good. I just didn't know what your plans were, if that was just, why you had a tree company there, but it really opens that up.
Yeah, we had the tree company there, so we took care of so those large pines were threatening the building, and then we did some select cutting a little, sometimes a little bit more than you might like because it's They get in there and,
No, I actually think I think it really opens it up. It kind of opens up that corner, so if you guys feel like landscaping something, it would look really nice on the corner of Nemco.
yeah, no,
In the future.
we're looking to do some work there.
But it does look nice, so.
Yeah, you can see the traffic
And
coming.
the Kings building looks much nicer now, too, that everything started to
Yeah.
green up, too, so.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion. Do we have the final wording? Because it says here that
The draft.
the MOU
No,
is just a draft.
we have the final MOU.
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't have
So
to,
what's in the packet is the same thing you're looking
Yes.
at? Okay.
You're good to roll.
so it doesn't have to include the town council approving it. It's already
Correct.
taken
Right,
care
this is, town council sent this.
Okay, make a
Close
motion
out
to
back.
approve the MOU between J.R. Realty and the town of Ayer, J.R. Realty being Catania Spagna, as outlined by the DPW superintendent.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Same thing with the
Chair
easement.
says aye.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
same thing. with the-
Thank you.
And that's
Mark,
signature of
question.
the board. Sure.
how is the Stony Brook pump going?
It's on schedule. It's one of those projects where you meet, they say, this is what we're gonna put in, and then they wait until they get all their equipment. So they've ordered everything, they're just waiting for it to come in, and I think they should be starting in a few weeks.
Yes.
I just
Could
want to
you
make
come
sure.
forward so
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
the audience
Yes, I'm the
that
attorney
you can't
for-
see?
Sorry, I'm the attorney for Catania, Spagna. The second part of it is the drainage easement
Right.
that I think you were going to get to. And one thing I just wanted to supplement, at the time Attorney Klein and I finalized the drainage easement agreement, we had a legal description of the new drainage easement area, but we didn't have the plan yet. So she had told me to bring the plan with me to the hearing today. So I have the plan to attach as Exhibit A, just in case you want to. I have extra copies if you want to
Yeah.
pass them around.
So the,
It's maybe Exhibit A1, maybe.
well, I think it's Exhibit A.
Yeah, it should be a legal
I don't
description
know
in there as well.
what-
Yeah, B is a legal description.
No, just the one.
Yes, so the second item is an easement, what we call an easement confirmation agreement, and that's for the drainage easement, which is this parcel is sketched out here and shown on this plan. And that'll be included in the document. So it basically lays out just a small easement on town-owned property. And as we said, this was a right that was included in the deed when the property was transferred to the town from Sandville. I don't know,
Are you guys signing tonight?
I don't think Joe's
Joe's
not here. so-
I think the drainage easement, as I understand it, is to be signed by the board, and then has to go to the contract.
Right, so yeah, that was
Signed,
another
and
thing
then
with the,
come back to us.
yes, the easement confirmation agreement also needs to be signed by the Conservation Commission. We're not positive if that's required, but town council's suggested in case this is a conservation land, and they would have to sign that, so that's
I would think
Put that on the next
Yeah.
unfortunately, they're probably within a 100-foot buffer, I would think, right?
Right.
Of that swamp there.
Yeah, I think the reason was because in the original grant to the town, it had cited a statute that allows conservation commissions to own property. So I think Attorney Klein thought that, there's an implication there that the Concom may have an interest in this. So just to make sure that.
To cover all the bases, I think that, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to us as well.
So we're signing something else? Or we're not
Yes,
signing something
yes, this is the easement confirmation agreement for the drainage discharge.
else? Gary?
Make a motion to approve the drainage easement confirmation agreement for J.R. Realty, Catania Spagna with the town of Ayer. The deed conditions laid out with the transfer from Sandville to the town in 1982.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye.
May I ask one more question?
Yes,
Just
yes.
Are we gonna, are you gonna see a lot more rail traffic down there, or is it just more for siding cars? I just, as an abutter, I know you guys are great, but I just didn't know if we're gonna see more.
I mean, over time, there'll be a little more traffic, but it
more-
is mostly for, to have more rail cars on site.
Okay. Because I don't really see your rail cars now, and we really don't see much from the way Arden has redone their facility as well. You don't have the racetrack as much anymore.
Yeah.
So your cars will come in from Willow Road, or you'll utilize that?
They'll come in
loop?
as they utilize the loop. They come
Okay.
in as they do today. There'll be more on hand.
Okay.
Right now, I mean, we get a switch every night.
No one notices it, I was just curious asking
Yeah,
the
no,
neighborhood
I'm-
if there was gonna be any large increase in.
But we get a switch every night, and that will probably continue. But it's, especially in the winter months, we have to heat the oil, so it's more to have it on hand to allow time for heating to get it in.
So you're just making more area from the.
Yeah, we're basically, no pun intended, but hand to mouth right now.
Okay, thank you. No, I appreciate your.
Thanks.
The next item on the agenda is a request for the board to vote for intention to lay out roads for acceptance. As you know, we've got a number of unaccepted roads in town, so, and let's have the town engineer can come up. So Dan's been spending a lot of time going through what's approved, what we need to do to approve the roads, what kind of condition they're in, and also what plans are available. So we wanted to get something done for fall town meeting, just to show that we've got some momentum. And so we picked the 6 easy streets that are really should have been accepted when they were constructed, but never were for whatever reason. So
Play a lot of catch up.
So, what the roads are,
You have slides? Yeah.
Were you just there, Mark?
no, I'm going backwards.
So we got blueberry, question. Blueberry,
Mulberry,
Blueberry.
Calvin, blueberry, this is hibiscus.
Here, I got mine.
It's all mulberry.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
through you to the board, if I could just add, as Mark mentioned, this is in part of a larger commitment by this board to have a comprehensive plan to make sure that we address all of the unaccepted ways in the town. And as the superintendent mentioned, our first approach, these 6 are pretty much ready to go for the fall town meeting, but just for the board's benefit, I know you're aware of this, as the public benefit as well, is that this is just the beginning of a larger ongoing process that Mark and Dan have been really working with on the engineering side and with town council through funds that were appropriated and supported by this board and town meeting. It's going to be a process throughout the year as one of the goals that will culminate in some other work. These are some of the initial, if you will, easier ones procedurally, but there's definitely more to come and more challenges ahead.
So we
Thank
have,
you.
so the streets are Calvin Street, and there's a little line up there that's not labeled, that's Blueberry Circle, which is right up here. And then we have Mulberry Circle, Hibiscus, and
Magnolia's in there. Yep.
Drive is this one here, and then Samantha Lane. Interestingly, all except Samantha Lane were basically developed by the same developer, and we have good plans for everything.
Yeah.
And he's still, technically the roads are in his ownership, but I talked to him and he doesn't have any issues
Are
with
there
it.
any bonds that are still there?
Not that I know of. I'm sure if there were, he would have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It must have been,
And And then Samantha Lane is a little different. Basically, what ends up happening on that is that each property owner owns out to the center street. Maybe Dan, you can explain that a little better on what the process is for the homeowners there.
Yeah, so what we did was we went through and looked at the deeds for the properties along all the roads to find out ownership. And if it'll kind of state in the deed whether the owners own any part of the street or if they own just to their property bounds as shown on the plans, which we have copies of those. And so for Samantha Lane, the deeds for those properties show that the owners own into the street. And there's a statute, a derelict fee statute, which means that each property owner owns halfway into the street of the current way. So what will happen is we're going to have to notify all those property owners about our intention, well, not the intentional layout, but when we go to vote to layout, which would be the next step after this. Between now and then, the planning board would have recommendations for the Board of Selectmen after you guys vote intention to layout.
Because you would have to have an easement, obviously, for
Yeah, so
road, correct? Water, sewer,
it's either-
repairs.
Well, the way it's laid out is that basically we would accept the layout of the street and it would no longer be part of their property. The town assessor would certify
Oh, I
that
see.
they're not losing any value to their property.
But it almost benefits them.
It benefits
Yeah.
them. You know, one of the issues with not having accepted streets is that we technically can't do any work on those streets. So if a catch basin collapses or the road gets a pothole, we're technically not supposed to do anything on them. And these people bought houses in new subdivisions and are paying taxes, but they're not getting the benefit of the accepted roads in town. We also, it factors into our Chapter 90 funding.
Well, that's a big thing, too.
And we can use Chapter 90 money to repave roads once they're accepted.
Gary?
Mark, are the streets in good shape, the infrastructure?
Generally, yeah, we didn't do what I would call a 100% inspection, but we did a spot inspection of different areas. Dan went out and checked not just the infrastructure, but also to make sure that the layout that we have matched up with
What's out there, yeah.
what was in the field. You know, obviously, some of these are getting a little old and the pavement needs some maintenance work. And some of the, particularly on Mulberry, we have some catch basin issues that we
I don't know
tend to
what
fix.
yeah, I've seen some of them. when I was-
They weren't, put 2x4s in.
Yeah,
to
I've
hold
heard
them.
that. I think Doug told me that. Some of them they
Yeah.
pulled out, they were framed with wood.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal, and we have been fixing them, but now, when we do need to go and repave it, we can use some Chapter 90 money.
And is there any reason that Winterberry's not included
Winterberry has been accepted,
already?
yes.
That's the only one?
That was developed by someone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
yeah. So Winterberry's.
Oh, it's funny,
all
because it
set.
just runs right off of,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if
over.
it's basically, you know, Crabtree Development
Yeah.
developed both the Calvert Street and the Mulberry Hibiscus, but they didn't develop Magnolia, or Winterberry.
Wow. Okay.
So what we have is that the selectmen have to vote intention to lay out these roads, and then, we gave a draft copy of the letter that you have to send to the planning board, and then they have to vote to approve it, and then we would actually vote to lay out the roads. And Dan has put together all the subdivision plans that show the layouts.
So we'll be able to get on the warrant?
Yeah, yes, through the chair to Selectman Luca. The purpose for, it's September 1st, but
Yeah.
we will be, if all goes as planned, which we believe it will, these will be up for town meeting consideration on October 27th.
Gary?
Make a motion to vote, the Board of Selectmen vote intention to lay out Blueberry Circle, Calvin Street Extension, Mulberry Circle, Hibiscus Lane, Magnolia Drive, and Samantha Lane, and send it on to the planning board.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair says aye, motion passes.
All right.
So they meeting?
We can, oh, this is the motion.
So want to start the process.
The final agenda item was, we just wanted to give you an update on the transfer station project. It became a little more complicated than we thought. I don't know whether you were aware of this, but when Dan started doing the engineering out there, what we discovered was that the transfer station parking lot is built on top of the capped landfill. So that requires us to get a permit from the DEP, which also triggers a MEPA notification. It's not necessarily a review, but it has to, so we have to go, that's Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act, so then that has to be advertised in the environmental register for a certain period of time. So anyways, we went through that whole process, put the plans out to bid, and we
Yeah, I saw the thing on the website.
got 0 bidders.
It's touchy, you know, with the
So,
membrane and.
well, it's kind of a weird project because it's half paving and half doing the concrete pads. So it kind of breaks it up, and the contractors are just super busy right now. So what Dan and I talked about doing was rebidding it, but breaking it into 2 bid packages. So we've sent that advertisement in. It'll be hitting the streets next week. With the bidding process, we have to send in the advertisement to the state on a Tuesday, and then it gets advertised the following Wednesday. So it's kind of gets stretched out, and then we have to have it advertised for 2 full weeks before we can open bid. So,
Right.
so it's. But we've been also talking to contractors and saying, look, we're breaking it up. We're seeing if you can bid it, and I think things are will start to slow down. So it'll be, but I don't want to be paving it in November.
No.
Is there any added cost?
To breaking it in 2?
No, because of it being on top of the landfill? Or is it just a notification? Just a request?
I don't think there's any added cost. I think what we ended up having to do was change some of the design. Yeah, we wanted to put in if anybody's up there, there's an area where we get a lot of runoff, and we wanted to put a drain in there, and we can't. So what we have to do is do some additional grading, because we can't puncture that cap.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna name that the Rich Scotchless drain.
And thank you for answering those questions, Fawn. I appreciate it.
And actually, it will probably you'll probably save money on the construction by breaking it into 2 pieces,
It's very possible.
because one contractor doesn't have to mark up the other contractor.
Right.
And we can schedule a little bit better.
Yeah.
And there's no added engineering cost, because that's what Dan's doing all day, is putting stuff
That's what
out
you
for
do,
bid.
Dan?
Sometimes, no.
Also, before I forget, congratulations on the grant that you guys secured last week.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
Was it
That's
sewer?
great.
There was been a couple of
Yeah,
them,
to
so
explain it.
That's a municipal energy technical assistant grant, so it's gonna help us get a consultant to do a review of some of our pumping stations in town for the sewer collection system.
Oh, that's great.
What happens with some of the pumps is they're not pumping in sync. So this one's pumping real slow, and this one's pumping really hard, and then this one slows down and this one speeds up. So what we're trying to do is figure out how can we optimize it so they're always pumping at their highest efficiency.
Right.
And it'll use less energy and prolong the life of the pumps.
And also, don't we owe you a congratulations, what was it, Road Scholar? Was that it?
So the
Should've worn
t-shirt
my,
today.
Road Warrior?
The Road Scholar. We have it's part of Mass DOT and UMass called Bay State Roads, and they're doing a lot of education on managing transportation, the road transportation system. So I've taken a number of classes with them, and it's really been worthwhile. I did a couple on pavement management, one on snow and ice removal, one on intersection safety and design. and another on how to get your East Main Street project approved by the state.
You ever like that one?
Yeah.
So,
Great.
so it's a really valuable association for the state.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
That's great.
Congratulations
Plus some
again on the
benefit.
grant. And the infrared seemed to come out pretty nice up here.
It did.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I'm looking at my Chapter 90 budget now and seeing how much I have something we can do some more, because now once you fix those, then the bad ones that you didn't fix stick out like a sore thumb.
I was thinking Willow Road, the cuts, but I just, those came out really nice. Actually, someone
Yeah.
complimented it to me. I didn't realize you guys infrareded it.
Yeah, if you've seen them do the process.
I have seen it
it's pretty
before,
interesting.
yeah. It is pretty,
And these guys the contractor that did it, they're out of Foxborough or Mansfield. They're firemen. So it's called Firehouse.
good thing. They
Infrared.
basically just come out with this
So,
big thing, this big flame
yeah.
and just heat it up.
Right, I know you got a lot to do, so
All
thank
right,
you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Dan. Mark, too.
Alicia.
Good
We should
evening.
just give you a standing appointment time.
Yeah, but mine are usually easy, so. So we have a subordination, and it falls between the 80, it's just a little bit over 80% of loan-to-value ratio. And is there anything you wanted to ask? The house is refinancing for a better interest rate. They have a 2009 mortgage now and are going to be looking for a 2014, $214,194 new mortgage, and we're just not changing our position in the mortgage at all. They just are taking out some money to do the closing costs.
Just a question. So we're, again, as I always ask, we're just subordinating to the second lien holder,
Yes.
as we always
Yes,
do.
yes.
Do we, I mean, honestly, in the future, do we have to have poor Alicia come here for this? I mean, I don't mean,
Well,
but I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
we love
You
you.
don't have to do it if it's under 65, if the loan-to-value ratio is under 65%.
yeah, no, I understand that, but I mean, it seems like we do it,
Right.
everybody does it if they have a second mortgage. I mean, that's how it works. It's just a,
Yes.
Through the chair to the board, as Ms. Hersey said, if it's under 65, it can be done administratively with
Okay.
signature by the chair. However, if it's...
80% loan,
Right,
right
it is
cutoff
per
with
all of the
mortgage companies get
guidelines.
funky, yeah.
Per all of the guidelines and the audit standards and everything. Above that, it needs to come before the Board of Selectmen, and if you will, in an open posted meeting.
not that I don't like seeing you. I
That's
just- I mean,
fine.
yeah,
I
that's
appreciate
easy
your
for you.
concern.
Chris, we used to have all the water and sewer permits. We used to do those.
This is for the chair. Let me just find it.
Oh, there's no motion.
Oh, yeah, you
I
haven't
can't
signed
sign
it
it yet.
yet.
Yeah.
On the
Make a
bottom.
motion,
You got it, Karen?
yeah, sure. Make a motion that the town lien of first mortgage in the amount of $214,119 for case number 04-271. The owner's refinancing to obtain a better interest rate. The equity being taken out of the home will be closing costs.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Chair says aye. Motion's granted. Now I can sign.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks,
Everybody
Alicia.
just signed it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Alicia. Nice to see you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Chief Pedrazi.
Hi, Chief.
Hey, Chief.
Happy birthday.
Is today your birthday?
No, Sunday was.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
One every year.
I know, I'm getting kind of tired of it.
Yeah, me too.
So, the reason I'm here tonight is I'm in receipt of a donation in the amount of $5,000 from F&P Willow Trust. And when I received the donation, I contacted Robert to say, is there something we need to do with this to make it legal? So notified the town council, and we got the answer back that was in your packet, that it just has to be accepted by the Board of Selectmen for use by the fire department.
And this is to provide equipment to the fire.
Provide equipment, correct.
Well, congratulations on the gift.
Thank you.
Chris?
I'd like to make a motion that the town accept the donation from F&P Willow Trust in the amount of $5,000. That was bestowed upon the fire department.
Second.
Good word. It was very unexpected, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very happy because we actually ran a little short on stuff for the new rescue truck, which actually was delivered today.
Oh, it's in?
So it's in.
In, like, done, lettered,
It's done.
ready to go?
Yeah, it'll be, we're doing training on it tomorrow, it'll be in service tomorrow, as soon as the training's done.
Did you take it tonight? No?
All right. Well, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair says aye, so the motion passed. Chris?
Just a quick question, F&P Willow Trust, what?
F&P Willow Trust is the corporation that owns the land we just purchased from Dunkin' Donuts and
Okay.
several other properties in town.
No, that's what, I
Yeah.
knew it was familiar, it was just, but to give them credit, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'd like to bring the boys down maybe Friday or Monday and check out the
Anytime
new
you
fire
want.
truck, all right?
Yeah, very, very nice. Anybody in town that wants to see what they paid for, it's very nice. It was a
Come on down.
2-year project and came out very, very nice.
Very
No,
nice.
good, I'm glad you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. I'll see you
So,
later.
have a quiet night.
Thanks. Hey, Chief? But don't we?
That's a good idea. $600,000 fire truck, I'm gonna go take a peek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, he said don't wait for him, sorry. All right, so tonight we have some distinguished guests. We have Senator Jamie Eldridge, Representative Jen Benson, and I don't see Representative Sheila Harrington. So,
I don't believe it, Sheila's running late.
well, she might join us, but anyways, we send our hellos to her.
I'm very
Chris, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
I like the new haircut, at least.
Yeah. It's
First time seeing you in this seat.
easy.
That's nice,
Awesome to
yeah.
see you here.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
didn't recognize when you walked in, I was kind of like, oh.
I know. That's why I did it. I know. Actually,
Incognito for 5 minutes?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Are we expecting Sheila, or?
We have not heard anything to the contrary, so
Right.
maybe she is on her way.
Well, welcome. Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to see you both.
You too. You too. So so just wanted to touch base and I think usually the best part of the meeting is just to answer any questions or understand what the board would like us as the legislators for Ayer to focus on, or getting any updates, as well as anyone in the public here has questions. I did just want to give you a little update on the budget. Of course, the budget is done, and most of the overrides have happened. So, just from some of the key areas of local aid for Ayer and the Ayer Shirley School District, local aid did have a small increase. Chapter 70 had a modest increase. Special ed circuit breaker had an increase, which that's the big number statewide, but I think that'll benefit the Ayer Shirley School District. And then one of the things that Representative Benson, myself, and Representative Harrington fought very hard for is to continue the regional school bonus aid, because Ayer Shirley is a recently regionalized school district. So we're happy to get that funding as well. So that's the same number as last year. So that's sort of the budget update on that I think most directly affects Ayer, and really here to answer any questions or Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just talking
You
about the
haven't
budgets,
missed
the budget update. So
okay, good.
finish the update. Yep. So I think that's basically all I had, and people have questions after Jen and Sheila present, happy to answer them.
Gary?
No, I mean, if you want to speak.
Oh.
Wait.
Speak. Well, good evening, and I'm happy to be here. I was very much looking forward to this today. But, I really can't add too much on as far as the budget process that we went through. I'll tell you that since I guess we were here last, I am now chairing the Consumer Protection and Professional Licensure Committee. So that's a totally new area for me, and it's really exciting and interesting. It's a wild committee. It has lots of various issues before it. But of course, we continue to work with our colleagues across all the committees on a lot of issues that impact the town. So whether that would be, continuing the conversation around energy and solar energy, or public records. I know that's been a big issue with the MMA. We keep having that dialogue and keeping it moving with the towns to make sure that your needs are heard. So that's part of why we're here.
Well, I'm also glad to be here, albeit late, and I apologize for that. And I didn't hear what he said about the budget, but I bet I can't add too much about the budget. Again, as Representative Bedford said, the next big piece of legislation that is going to probably be of interest to you is the public records law. I do know that in a conversation with the governor and the lieutenant governor, I know that they're not very supportive of the law right now as it's written. MMA has come back pretty strongly against it. So I'm not sure if in its present state it's going to make it through. And I think their concern essentially is for municipalities like Ayer. They said the small towns they feel would be hit really pretty heavily with the lack of extra funding and sometimes part-time employees trying to do full-time jobs to make this happen. So I don't know where that is going to stand. I know it's going to be a big issue for the legislature, but I know that there is some resistance to that on the other end. I'm also glad that Ayer got their energy technical assistance grant for the water study, and that's obviously good news. Since I was last here, I have, this year, my posts have changed a little. Unfortunately, I'm no longer on the Veterans Committee. Boo. There are a couple of veterans that they thought deserved it over me, and I couldn't really argue that fact. So now I remain the ranking member on the judiciary and the ranking member on rules. So they have a lot of, well, rules doesn't really have, but ranking member on judiciary has a lot on their plate for this year coming forward. Not so much things that affect municipalities as much as some laws that you may hear of just because they're going to affect people's lives in the area. We've been looking at the mandatory minimum issue. We will be looking at transgender equality issues. We will be looking at different issues involving civil offenses, landlord-tenant laws we've looked at. So there'll be a lot that you may hear something about, but not directly affecting municipalities. But the one thing I did want to bring to the table today, if I could, is to talk to you about a new program that the state has in which they're working together with the communities, Community Compact program. And it's a completely voluntary program by mutual agreement of the municipality and the governor's administration. And what they're going to do is try to work with you to implement at least one best practice across a variety of areas. Essentially, what it ends up giving to the town is if you have a particular issue, that they can offer you expert consultation resources and other technology resources. They will work with you on this. The benefit of it is, obviously, you get some free help and some free technology, but the other benefit of it is that it's almost like you earn sort of a points benefit to it, so that when you apply for grants, different grants, and Ayer has done very well in the grant department, I would say, but I think this might be another area that Ayer would want to look at, because I think that you might be able to not just get the assistance as part of the program, but it might put you in better standing to continue to get the grants that you need. So, like I said, it's a completely voluntary program. I'm going to leave just, if I can, with, is that okay to leave with Carly?
Yes.
But this gives you some information on how it was sort of put together and the types of things that they look at. And actually, one of the neighboring towns is going to be getting theirs in places this week, Townsend. So are going to be getting it on Thursday, so if anybody wanted to go out and talk to anybody in town, so they'd probably also share what they've done to utilize it, so. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is the parking. So I have been in discussion with Attorney Pastor, and he said that the only thing right now, as far as he's concerned, holding it up is getting Mr. Berry over to do the walkthrough because of the three. You might have already even brought this up. But
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had asked him to send me an email about it. I didn't. I don't know whether he forgot or not, but he was going to send me an email outlining it. But he's basically saying, other than Phil Berry's health and ability to go down there and do the walk, nothing has been holding it up. And I know that there are some concerns with putting in utilities and contracts to start lighting it and such. He said he wasn't really familiar with that end of it. I don't know whether we want to maybe sort of have a meeting about that so that they understand there's a little bit of an urgency with regard to the utilities issue. But
Okay, wait a minute, is he,
Okay.
do you have anything? Okay.
Just to add to
Oh,
what
okay.
you said, I spoke to Mr. Pastor late this afternoon too.
okay, after I give them.
And yeah, because he said, oh, you're the third official I spoke to today.
Okay, everyone's
But he was in contact with Mr. Boyle.
Okay.
Roy said that they, and I agree with him, they want to meet the engineers on site
Right.
and actually stake out the delineated lines, you know, for a visual, as we all
Yeah,
know.
right.
It looks great on paper, but then you get out there, Robert and I went out there and things made no sense.
Especially
Once
at
we got out
15
there.
below.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Oh, man.
And so the ball right now is in Mr. Boyle's court to get the company that he had engineered, what was it, October, November? Or was it the spring, I forget.
Yeah,
They had surveyed.
VHB.
Yeah, so they would like the company to come out.
And then he'll get Mr. Berry to be there on that.
Yeah, so Mr. Barry,
What year is this? Sorry.
we were here last October all smiling, I know that.
I know.
And we moved the snow so you could,
yeah.
you know, delineate the lines.
So it sounded promising, and it sounds like Mr. Barry's health is improving too, which is good. But
good.
I guess I would ask the three of you, and I know you've been in contact, to keep on the MBTA and Mr. Boyle to expedite this, because it seems like we're very, very close to getting this.
Yeah, I like I
done.
said, I didn't notice any kind of adversarial.
No, I actually, I thought it was very,
I
very,
wanted to finish
very
it
nice to
up.
talk to today. He just said that they made the mistake of offering too much at the beginning, and then when they visually saw it, that obviously followed things up. So they'd like to just see it
Right.
officially laid out, which I think makes sense. I
Right.
don't think that's a hard thing to do, to put markers down and say, you know, this is where the lines are gonna be, and I don't think that's hard for the MBTA to get their engineering firm out there.
Well, and I communicated with Mark Boyle today, and he said he's looking at within the next few weeks, you know, being able to get on the site. They're
Exactly.
really waiting for Mr. Berry to be more ambulatory, to get out there and be able to see it for himself, so.
Yes, and Mr. Pastor says he's made some good in strides, so they were hoping in September that if the MBTA could get this together, that we could all go out there or wherever he would like there and mark it out and get this done finally.
Sure, yep.
But he
That's good.
definitely seemed, I think we talked in July, that it seemed promising, and then Mr. Barry unfortunately got quite ill, which just added to the
How do we
madness.
follow this up? How do
Well,
we keep?
In my
conversation
opinion,
with
our conversations with Mr. Boyle have gone downhill. And I know the delegation's been good about helping us get a hold of him. I know, Robert, you reached out to him Thursday or Friday and with no response.
I think they're horrible. But how are we gonna keep the pedal on this?
I mean, I think maybe
Yeah.
one all of us, or start, I mean, I know you have a number of, you two have probably had more conversations with Mr. Boyle than I have, so I'm not sure if that's a better way to get to it.
Well, he was very responsive today. I mean, he responded by email within an hour of when I sent him an email, and he was very up to date on the progress and everything. So it seems to me that it's not a purposeful slowdown. It's simply they knew Mr. Berry was very ill, and were being respectful and waiting to make sure that he was able to participate.
Okay. So I guess to answer Gary's question, I guess we follow up and keep on them. And I respect the fact that they have I saw what they need for infrastructure improvements this morning on the news, so I understand they have a lot going on.
Right.
What they're looking for, they're, a million different ways to Sunday of things happening, but this obviously is.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess what we're saying is that, and as he pointed out, and he's pointed out, we're so low on the totem pole, and you three have the rank. So.
I
yeah,
disagree.
you know,
Honestly, I disagree with that. I think in working with the MBTA in the past, to have someone at Mark Will's level personally involved, and as long as he has been, he wants to get this done. As I would say, almost as much as you do. So I don't think that.
Hear it from me.
Yeah. No, not as much as him. Nobody, you're right. But, no, I think that, first of all, I think he'd like to see this clear off his plate, quite frankly. I mean, we all
I
like
agree
to
with
be able
that,
to
yeah.
check things off, right? So I think that they also are very busy, and it isn't that you're a low man on the totem pole, it's that there have been real delays that are out of their control. And so,
well, I say that because he tried contacting, we haven't heard anything, you contacted.
well, and I have to
today,
say,
get
3
a,
weeks ago, I
you
sent
know,
an email and
a
didn't get a response, which is
Yeah.
why I followed up. I think that they've been, kind of a little underwater. So, but he was very quick to respond, and it was very apologetic for not getting back sooner, so.
So it seems like from late today that Mr. Pastor and Mr. Boyle had a good conversation that seemed to
Yep,
point to getting this resolved.
right.
As Mr. Pastor said to me, I, would love to go to the judge and say I've settled the case and we're done, but he says, I want to make sure the clear delineation is there, and that's what Mr. Berry, he says it looks good, but
Right.
obviously, so hopefully that can happen.
So knock on wood.
Yes, but I guess it would be just following up from you guys, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And just, if you would, with Mr. Boyle and
I think
whoever
the-
at in the MBTA.
Sure, and I know Robert and Carly have been great at keeping us in the loop. So I think that's important because, I don't want to be harassing Mr. Boyle and
No,
find out
absolutely,
that
yeah, no,
things are
sure.
moving and I didn't know. So, as long as we can keep that point of communication, that
And
would be
Sheila
really
and I have
helpful.
developed somewhat of a rapport with Mr. Pastor, so I mean, we can keep that side going too, because both sides have to be motivated to have it happen too, so.
For sure.
Yes, Robert.
Madam Chair, through you and the board to the delegation, and to echo what the board has said, we do appreciate all of your efforts, and especially most recent efforts in communicating with the MBTA. And what the board is referring to, I had sent a communication to Mr. Boyle probably towards the end of last week, alerting him to the fact that the board was reconvening their regular schedule for September. I contact him every month for an update. I also mentioned that the delegation would be here and that inevitably, and I was correct on that, this topic would come up. And so, I'm glad that he responded through you. And if I may, just through the chair, I think we can all agree, there is no question that this last time, Mr. Berry, and I'm glad, I've seen him a couple times, not to talk to, but I've seen him up and about, and that's great. There's no question. And I'm glad he was better this most recent time. I think the key thing that we also need to keep in mind is that this concept is almost 19 years old. And in that time, Littleton has built an entire facility, including proposal for expansion. Acton is underway with ADA expansion, which all great projects, but I'm saying in the 19 years, that's number one. Number two is, I was at the Neshoba Chamber of Commerce this morning, and we were talking about economic development priorities for Ayer, and one of them, which this board has made, is actually this project. It's not a garage, it's not a multi-level, as we all know, but that rumor is still out there. And it's like this 200-space surface lot, and people are like, so what? It's not a glitzy project, it's a $3 million project, but what it does for this town is it improves the commuter access. It sets the stage, as you all know as legislators, for the next round of funding. We don't know when that is, for full ADA compliance. In the station has an economic, having a rail stop, a commuter rail stop, has great economic benefits, not only to Ayer, but to the 26 communities in southern New Hampshire. The final point is I have now almost on a weekly basis, there are property owners that you're aware of, private property owners who have private property that are within the scope of this project, that have been great partners, that have waited, I mean, I've been here for 5 years, so have waited 5 years, and now, and rightfully so, coming to see me each week, what's the status on the project? Because they are paying their taxes, and you know the properties I'm speaking of, many of them are not at this time occupied businesses because their hopes and plans are hinged on this project, including some of Mr. Berry's property. So I just wanted to re-emphasize that. Plus, I have the citizens group. Kathleen O'Connor is the liaison with the board. I have members of the Citizens Action Group. I have private property owners, and frankly, as the town administrator, I'm sort of out of answers, and I'm just, and I appreciate the chair letting me just vent that in the sense, and I know you guys are too, and working on it is, when will we get to that point? And so I think to Selectman Luca's point, and Selectman Hillman and Livingston, again, how do we keep this, and we hope and pray again, if you will, that the MBTA and Mr. Berry can come to an agreement, because at the end of the day, we all know that when it comes down to it's between the MBTA and him. I mean, the town is, I hate to use the term being held hostage, but this project, the town is having a negative impact from that. This project would also benefit the MBTA. And this is not directed in any way towards any of the parties. It's just a general, I think, municipal frustration on our end. So I thank you for listening, and I thank the chair for the opportunity.
Well said, Robert. And I would also add that it will add, obviously, more parking for the bike path, which is, if you come down on the weekends or mornings, is amazing how busy it is. And sometimes, you know, people, my wife comes down, you can't find a spot because there's New Hampshire plates, you know, parked there to get on the train, and we all understand that. And then to add, you know, eventually the streetscape. I mean, we've got that project approved to, you know, water, sewer, and to do the entire streetscape of Main Street along with that on Park Street. I mean, it really could come together really fast here. And restaurants are popping up left and right downtown, so a little extra parking on the weekend would be great as well. So there's a lot of good things going on.
You brought up the streetscape, and I don't know if you know that the three of us were working very hard through this budget season to try to get the wastewater management funds. I know that a proposal had been sort of thrown out there that you and maybe another nearby town could sort of cut costs by doing it together, but despite our best efforts, it was not in the cards for this year, but we'll definitely keep that if you're progressing. Yeah, we'll bring that back again. Maybe with, I think what might have hurt us the last time is that we didn't have real concrete numbers either. You know what I mean? Right. We may have overshot it because we didn't have exact figures as to what it was going to cost and how much we could have saved by doing it in collaboration with another municipality. So,
Madam Chair, through you and the board, two things. One is thank you for the efforts on that with Ayer and Pepperell, and I know we sort of put that together close to the submittal time, but I think we definitely should keep our eyes on the prize with that. And if I may, through the chair, as all three of you are aware, the town of Groton has submitted a Mass Works grant application for $1.5 million of the Mass Works program, and this board has officially entered into a memorandum of understanding. This project is to bring sewer from the Four Corners, if you will, at 119 and Westford Road, where the Shaw's is, into Ayer. And though it's a Groton application and a Groton project, I just wanted to emphasize for what it's worth. I know the Mass Works program is very competitive, and they're asking for the maximum amount. This would be for the design. The project, in the end, if approved, would bring sewer from the Four Corners into Ayer on Westford Road. And when you look at that, it benefits not only Ayer and Groton in that it activates sewer to those properties, increasing the value of those properties. Our industrial park is out there. You have a 43B right over in Groton, and you have potential developable land in Groton that would help. And it's a low impact trajectory. In other words, it's not really going through any wetlands or other, historic or agricultural land. And I just, through the chair, wanted to emphasize, I know that the applications have been submitted, and maybe some of you have been asked to send letters, but anything you can do on that would be appreciative, because that will determine the project And it's a regional, it represents the MassWorks infrastructure's best. It's a small regional project, and again, this morning, we were talking about economic development at the Chamber, and they asked for each town's priorities, and I said, and there was a lot of folks there from Groton, this is not a glitzy project on paper in Boston. It was a sewer extension in Ayer and Groton. Where is that? But the implications to the infrastructure development for Ayer and for Groton and to support those businesses is huge. So through the board, if there's anything you can do, you've been supportive. We have a MassWorks grant, as you know, through your support for this surface lot project. Any positive word you can put in on that application would be appreciated. And again, through the chair, thank you.
Well, one thing I would just request, and I'm sure this would be true for my colleagues as well, anytime you send in a grant application to the state, I always ask for a copy of at least the letter and any of the, supporting information so that we can draft a letter that echoes your arguments for the grant and helps bolster your arguments. So, anytime you're sending in anything, if you want to CC our offices or one of us, and we'll send it around, however it may be, that gives us the best opportunity to be able to help you in your case. So I would just make that as a blanket request.
So I can maybe see if I can get a copy of the grant from Groton, and then I'll get it right over to the two.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, because Groton, it's their application, they were handling it. Ayer did a letter of support,
Okay, I was just
and they were
gonna
going to reach out to you. So if they haven't, I know you
Yeah.
can still send
And if you want to
something.
send us a copy of that letter you sent
Yeah,
in,
okay.
that would be terrific. And that way it highlights to my office, exactly what you're looking for, what, you're asking for, what your expectations are, and then it helps us draft a better argument to support it.
And Gary, I don't want to, this was a question that you had asked a while back, but we had talked about the intersection in Littleton on Willow Road and 2A. Is it 2A there? I get confused.
Ayer Road and Willow Road.
At the Citgo, the Chip Shots restaurant, and I believe that was teed up years ago under Pam Reeser. And it's difficult because there's two towns there, and I know right there it splits from me to Jamie is the property line from Littleton to Ayer.
There's two different, MAPC and MRPC.
Yes.
Yes, two planning groups, yeah.
But it's really got to get done.
Is it on a list or somewhere? I haven't heard about
It was it was all, and Mary, you know a lot about it. There are plans that have been.
2004.
I thought it was on it too.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And,
On a bond bill or?
Yeah, I'm not, and that's a good question. I'm not sure. And I know Littleton was eager to get it done, but
I know the property owner, one of the property owners is supposedly already donated the land, or will be donating the land for the corner.
Okay.
and it affects air traffic most because it's coming up. I mean, if you go that way, you're coming up to the stop there, and to go right, you have to swing out with the
Right.
tractor trailers, and obviously it's a busy intersection. So I believe it was redesigned. I don't know if there was lights, but it was more just a peripheral improvement. So it wasn't such a wide swing because we're obviously trying to have our tractor trailer trucks from Westwood Road go that way to avoid our residential areas.
Instead of going by a beach.
Going by our
Right.
beach. So,
Sure.
um,
Well, if the town of Ayer has any paperwork on that, because I haven't heard about that. And I represent
Yeah.
Littleton too.
So find something.
yeah, and that was the thing. I had spoke to Chairman Carr over in Littleton, and he was aware of it from years ago, but he said that he wasn't, obviously, let's work together, obviously, but let's see what we
Sure.
can do. So I said I would bring it up tonight.
Okay, yeah, well, please let us know, yeah.
Just through the chair and the board real quick, Senator Eldridge, what we will try to get to, if I understand correctly, from what I've told, it predated me, that Senator Reeser had secured some state funding. It was the responsibility of Ayer and Littleton, and this is quite some time ago, to take care of the design money.
Right.
And so
okay.
it was a partnership, the design money, and
Oh,
Senator
okay.
Reeser had secured the funding at that time. So what I will do through the board is at least, I think that Mr. Wetzel and DPW Superintendent, we have at least some of the original paperwork and some of the breakdowns, so we can get that to your offices. But to the board's point, and I think
Sure.
you've all have driven it, it's that tractor trailer, it's a real public safety and infrastructure issue. It really needs to be made into a nice
Right.
T, but most of it is in Littleton.
Sure, okay.
So was the design money ever appropriated by the towns?
You know, I've heard that the design was made.
Oh, okay. That was made. Okay.
Oh, there's a design.
I think there's a preliminary, you know how there's like the 10%?
Yeah,
There was a
yeah.
preliminary design done, and then it was supposed to, and we'll verify this, but
Okay.
the design was not brought to acceptable, conclusion from Mass
Okay,
DOT or
right.
whatever it was at the time. So the senator had secured the funding for the actual project. It was the design piece, and then it fell, I don't
Okay.
know, but anyway, time passed, and here we are. So
Mhm.
we'll get at
Sure.
least what we have in the archive.
Yeah, okay.
But I know this board has discussed this before. Again, this would be a huge public safety and transportation project that would benefit not just Ayer and Littleton, but that whole region.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So my assumption is, though, since it's been over 10 years, we would
Yeah.
have to try
We're
to.
starting from scratch. possibly.
Right, we'd
Yeah.
have to start from
Yeah,
scratch,
we're not
because any
presenting
unexpended
yeah.
funds from that long ago would have been
Sure.
reverted.
Right.
Sure, absolutely, but I mean, it's something we've been talking about, and we haven't got,
Yeah.
but if we can start the legwork on it.
Yeah, I'd like to know where we are
Mhm.
and where do we go?
Right.
And,
It's-
So digging up
And we
the
have no problem
design.
doing it.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Sure.
And I would say in 10 years, the traffic, with the development of
Oh, it's
Westford
probably
Road.
increased.
And in the Four Corners, obviously down in Groton too, and hopefully more with the sewer goes in, is obviously the traffic there is much more increased, and we are obviously trying to have our tractor trailers go that way too, to stay out of the residential areas, so it does make it a little more dangerous, I would say.
You might have to move.
I'm in the woods, so I'm good on it.
Mary?
Thank you, Madam Chair. While our reps are here, I'd like to switch, if I could.
Oh, wait a minute, are you done? Are you ready to switch? I don't know where she's switching to.
I don't know.
Well, I think we have a crisis here in Massachusetts in the foster care system. And we had that horrible, horrible situation a few years ago with poor little Jeremiah Oliver, where he was murdered. Nobody knew, the family, nobody looked into anything until the little sister said that her brother wasn't around. He was murdered, stuffed in a trash bag, and thrown along the highway. Now we had everybody was going to make changes. I know, in fact, that more money has been put into the foster care system. We had a few months back the little boy out in Hardwick, whose father apparently thought that he was training him for a boot camp. The child went into kidney shutdown in a coma, into the hospital, and now shuttled off to some long-term care. And then we have, who I think should be the foster poster child for Avelina. And I'd like to know why this child was in a home with a foster mother who had 2 biological children by an abusive boyfriend. She was allowed to adopt another foster child, and then she had 3 more. And this poor little angel never had a chance. She's dead. The other one was taken off in critical condition. I am not happy with any of our representatives. We heard that we're going to have a study. Oh, we always have studies. Who is taking care of the children? It doesn't seem to be anybody.
So can I,
Yeah, you want to go for it? I just had some new information on that.
well, the report was, there's new information. There's a report that was released today.
I think
Yesterday.
I think there's going to be another very specific report that's being held up by the school. The school will not talk to the administration.
But just to review, right now, so one of the things that came out of the Jeremiah Oliver case and the ones from, a year and a half or so ago, is that licensing requirements for social workers changed. And so DCF is looking to license all of their social workers to make sure that they're properly trained. My concern with that is I think people often look to the caseworkers as the villains in this, and I think there are good ones and bad ones, but I don't think licensure is a silver bullet. And I think bringing down the caseloads is really important. Just physically being able to get to home visits and really do a thorough job is important. But I believe we have to be much more stringent on looking at who we allow to be foster parents. And there has not been nearly enough scrutiny on that end. We keep looking at, and justifiably so, looking at DCF and the state and what the state is doing, but we also have to look at who we're allowing to be caregivers in these situations. And, that is a very difficult, a tricky, expensive proposition to really thoroughly vet foster parents, but I think that's where we need to go. There is no silver bullet in this. This is not going to be something that is going to be turned around overnight. And I lived in South Florida back in the 90s, and there was a huge problem with the foster care system in Florida, with losing children, hundreds of children a year. And so, they have put a lot of effort into revamping their foster care system, and they're still having problems 20 years later. So it is a very difficult issue to get through.
45 years in nursing, believe me, I understand
You get it,
a lot.
right.
What bothered me with this Abilena situation was that, first of all, we didn't hear from any of the management people. And then some little person came out of a hidey hole and said, well, we're doing a study, but we're having problems with the technology. Well, kids today, they're so savvy, we could probably go up to the regional high school, get half a dozen of the freshmen, and they could go down there and get that program straightened out. So I don't go for that. And when somebody just says, the first thing they say is, give us more money. We've done that. Somebody has got to take an interest and do something, because these children are losing their lives or they're becoming permanent residents someplace else, and somebody needs to care for them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary. Yeah.
If I could just have a minute. I actually, I echo what she's saying, and I echo what you're saying. And to be honest with you, today I heard Governor Baker say exactly the same thing, that our system is broken, and it's been broken for a long time. But he said it's no longer a case of there were not enough eyes on the child. We had a lot of different eyes that should have been seeing this child. This kid wasn't in a vacuum, so to speak. We're also finding out that licensing the daycare, there may not have even been a dwelling that could have held the 6 people that have called in. But another point that was brought up was that out of the, I believe, 48,000 children we have in DCF custody right now, 35,000 of them, I believe, don't quote me on the exact number, but around 35,000 are still in their homes. So we have the smaller portion of our DCF cases are in the foster care system. And that is partly, I think, two reasons. One is we are not getting a great pool of foster home people. So that is a problem. Qualifying people, even with our, and we've made the standards more difficult, so we're getting even less people that are qualifying. So that's a huge issue right there. The other issue for me, and there's 2 other issues. Years ago, our DCF changed the system in which they approached cases, okay? Prior to about, I think, 10 years ago, there was a system in which we had certain caseworkers who were emergency response type of caseworkers, assessment caseworkers. They stabilized the situation, and then it went to other caseworkers that maybe had less credentialing, so to speak, than they did, okay? We changed that so that it's like a one caseworker system now. So there are people, we have made stricter licensing requirements, more education for them coming in, but we do have people within our system that actually got the job when that was the system, when they were going to only take it once it's stabilized. And back then, there were people that were caseworkers, qualified to be caseworkers, with no education whatsoever in social work, and a high school diploma, and spending time in the department. Okay, we're trying to change that, but we can't retroactively get, the whole system has sort of taken a change in direction, and they're looking at that. They did get the Child Welfare League of America report on it already as to why our system was failing. And I have to say, and it's something that I feel very strongly about, this thing I feel the most strongly about, is they agreed that we should be changing our focus, our more or less, how would you say it, our mantra should be the best interest of the child. In the statute that we have here for care protection cases, the standard is not the best interest of the child, and that the Child Welfare League said has to change. And I think my colleagues here have joined me in that sentiment, and we're going to be fighting to get that bill back up again, probably, if not by the end of this calendar year, it'll be up next year. And I would urge you to go testify, because it is, I think, the squeaky wheel that gets greased there.
Absolutely.
You can send emails, you can call, but whoever puts their face in front of the committee and says, no more, if enough people do that, I think you get the attention of the committee.
Do you have a number for the bill?
I can get it to you. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I will get it, because they change it from bill to docket or docket to bill, and I don't have it anymore. But I will get it, and we can keep you posted. We can keep you posted when that's coming back up again. But I know what you're saying about sometimes study means it's been deep sixed and there is no study coming. But I know that this report is about to be put out. They wanted to give the school an opportunity to have input into it, and they're having difficulty getting that. Whether they're going to wait indefinitely, I think they're going to release it very shortly, whether or not the school participates. But I do know that it is a very, very high priority for the administration.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, Mary, I certainly didn't know that's where you're going to go, but I think that was an awesome thing that you brought up. So just to kind of echo a little bit, I'm very glad Mary brought this up. I think this was a great conversation. I think it's something we all have to concentrate on. I guess for me, it's the little things that I've noticed over the years, and I always go back to after 9/11, and one of the things was that everyone was told to start communicating with one another, and yet we're still, how many years later, we still don't communicate with one another. I think that's the big key to hear in 2015 that technology, give me a break.
I know.
If I go for a gun permit, I'm going to have all sorts of background checks for me, but somebody wants to foster a child and they're obviously not going through those same type of background checks, that's something seriously wrong. And I think it's time that, it's the blind or get off the pot time.
Yeah. And I do think some of that has changed with the foster care situation. I think the doing of quarry reports and things like that were not always a part of it, but they are now.
Well, sadly too,
But-
Massachusetts unfortunately has not had a good reputation when it comes to foster children.
Oh, I'm not going to defend DCF,
Yeah.
don't worry.
But I think we all get the point, and Mary, I'll drive. So, Chris, I think you had something to say? It was not, it was something else. I think.
No, actually, I just, I wanted to know, I was just kind of curious, how are things working with you in the new regime, Governor Baker? I mean, obviously, it's a leadership change and a different philosophy, but it seems to me, I know you and I spoke early last year, but it seemed that it's going well. I mean, the partisanship has eased a little bit, and it seems like things are moving along. I mean, I know obviously everybody has their disagreements and whatnot, but it's going well.
Yeah, it was fine.
No, it's been good.
Good. No, it's
We
good.
can't get everything, Sheila, but we try to, right?
I don't know, I feel like a lot of times I don't get nearly enough.
And then just the other thing I wanted to point out, as you well know, our school system, I think, and I don't have the details, I know I forwarded the emails to you guys.
Award-winning,
The school
it's great.
system is just taking off all of a sudden. I know US News Reports had them ranked right up to the top.
Yeah.
They have the highest enrollment since the base closed in all grades.
And did they show a good percentage of who's going to stay?
Yeah, the retainment rate has
The
been.
eighth grade retainment rate
Right,
is
yeah.
and they're just award-winning and
Beautiful
And
facilities.
the
Phenomenal.
facility,
Yeah.
I don't know if we've officially had the final tour yet. I'm sure you'll all be there, but it's if you've seen it recently, it's absolutely.
I've seen it.
It's
Pretty awesome.
yeah, it's
Yes.
and amazing how fast it went. But I wanted to give them recognition because it seems like day after day we're getting emails They're from the school committee, so they might be, a little, but just great things are happening, so. And I know you supported us all on that, so I wanted to thank you for that, and hope that you're aware of what's going on up there. I know it's exciting for the town, because it's great for the town.
It's great for the town.
Ayer is number 14th in population growth in the state as of last week. Shirley was number 12, and I think we were number 1 per capita in new home starts. For population, obviously. So.
Or number 2 on train station visitors.
Yeah.
So last on train station.
I'm not going to say anything, but just think about what's that parking thing. You'll go right up to number 1.
Well, we are last.
So the grocery store is going to be opening in October. It's all remodeled. The new Family Dollar.
Yeah.
We're
very excited.
Macy's.
Especially with winter rolling around, it'd be nice to have a grocery store back.
I know, right?
So I wanted to point that out and give the
2 more
kudos.
restaurants.
2 more restaurants. So
Oh,
if
what
you're aware of
restaurants are
that.
coming in?
A
A taco, like a more of a lunch style
Like a
taco, like
taqueria?
almost like a Chipotle type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then New England Flatbread Company over here with the old Hamlin's building.
Or
There
as I
goes my
remember,
carving
Tony's.
stick.
Tony's, yeah.
Actually, I remember it being Tony's too.
So I'm sure you're all aware of that, but it's good news. So
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, we do a good job running the town.
and
No, we've had 4
Absolutely.
years of free cash that have been
Oh, for goodness.
yeah.
Unbelievable. We do a good
To
job.
say that every meeting.
I just,
No, it's nice to be in a town. I mean, I know I work in a lot of other towns
We're in good shape.
locally,
Sure.
and it's nice to be in a town that
we're in good shape.
we're in
Well,
very good
yeah.
shape
Very good
financially,
shape,
and
our headlines are low key, and
Yep, thank you, Pierre.
when they are
Yeah.
high key, it's for good news.
so
I just got a question on medical marijuana. Now there's some talk.
I don't have
about-
any.
Do you want some?
No, thank you.
There's talk about putting a ballot
Right.
question out to legalize. How's that going to affect medical marijuana facilities in the state? Any idea? Are they gonna
I
be
don't know. I don't know how it will
grandfathered? No?
affect it.
Well,
I don't know.
the need is going to be gone because
I was going to say it can't be helpful.
Right.
it's not going to help. I mean, if it's legalized across the board, there's no need for medical marijuana because anybody can get it, right?
Right.
So, so that's going to be. But I don't
Is there a
see
sense
that.
in the legislature?
It was just going to go to the ballot, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
And
the
that being
legislature
said-
will push it forward.
You know, just quickly, I don't know why it was sticking in my head, but to go back to our first discussion point with the public records law.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's important, this is going to impact you. I think it's important for you to understand what the timeline is. So originally this was supposed to come up in July before our break for August. And it was pushed back because Peter Kokot, who's chair of state administration and oversight, is sitting with the MMA trying to work out compromise language. But that being said, the Secretary of State is very much in favor of doing this and has proposed a ballot question. So Massachusetts has been ranked fairly poorly for access to public records from across the country. So I would anticipate that something will happen. Because if we don't come to some sort of compromise, and I believe this is going to come up this month in September in the legislature. So if we don't come up with some sort of compromise with the MMA to move us forward in a way that protects the towns from undue burden, we're very much likely to face a ballot referendum, which is very popular. I know my office has been emailed quite a lot from constituents wanting this access. So, bearing that in mind, I encourage you to, review the documents, look at what the MMA is saying, and familiarize yourself with this, and, weigh in on, impacts versus, opening up the process for more of the public. So, I don't want it to seem like, it's dead in the water and it's not going anywhere. I think it very much will go somewhere. So I don't want you to be left behind and not have your voices heard in that.
Yeah, Galvin's been pushing it pretty much.
Right.
But didn't the state once, if I could be wrong, want some exemptions where they were not privy to what we were privy to, like in terms of what they had to furnish for open record laws? I thought I read that somewhere.
There
was some exceptions for.
There are not specific exceptions through this piece of legislation. There are historic exemptions from many, many years ago through court cases. So this does not do anything to change or enhance that. It simply keeps it the way it is. And part of that is, quite frankly, because, for example, a lot of the constituent work we do, we have to get releases from constituents we work with. And, you know, releasing all of that private medical data, whatever it may be, to the public
very tricky too.
would be inappropriate. I mean, it would simply, because we have to sign, and they have to sign an agreement of disclosure to us. But saying, you know, we want every paper or file on every constituent case and have that be public with the sort of identifying information we have, you know, yeah. So I think that is appropriate.
Seems like it could be opening a lot of
right. So that's why that exemption exists, to protect constituents. So you know, if you need to call us about a Medicaid issue or something else, that's going to be protected.
I just want to bring an interesting point to what she was just saying, and I think everyone at first blush, I thought, of course, this should be the law. It's the way to transparency, but I do think it has to be tweaked because I know some of the other towns that I have said we won't be able to do this without hiring more people, and we don't have the funding to hire more people. So I think it's not that it's dead in the water, but I think it's going to come out a different version than it went in because it just wouldn't work for municipalities. But just to give you an idea of that catch-22 you're going to find yourself in, I was in a meeting today with the new head of the state police, and he was asked a question with regard to the body cameras, okay? So as you play that out, at first blush you say, well, that would be good, you know, you'll be able to see. But then you have to do the data storage. Then if there's kids that you don't have the consent to have them on video, they have to be blocked out, so the data has to be edited. Then you have the issue of if a police officer is talking to somebody and because of their constitutional rights as far as, not being wiretapped or recorded, you violated that if you're doing that on that camera. So it's sort of like with every sort of act towards transparency, you got to look at that whole other can of worms. So I think that's what we're looking at with this, is how to get the transparency but still accommodate the privacy, privacy and the needs of the municipalities.
And if you just bring a ballot question and say transparency, of course you're going to get a lot of people to vote for it that don't even know what the issue is.
Right.
And then it becomes a burden.
Well, and that's, I would even say, not that, I'm against ballot questions, but, that's one of the reasons legislation can move so slowly, because we have to try to figure out what are all of the unintended consequences. And, a ballot question, you don't have the opportunity to do that. Right. And so whether it's medical marijuana or whether, whatever it may be, there may be fallout and unintended negative consequences of that moving through that we now do not have any role in. And often if we do try to go in after the fact to make corrections or whatever it may be, it's perceived as being against the public interest. So I would much rather see us work in conjunction with the MMA and the towns in order to get something through than leave it to a ballot question that we can't, debate.
There's no control.
Right. And I know the last cycle of ballot questions of 2012, there was one with regard to the right to repair bill. We had already worked that all out. Right. It was completely worked out, and they were going to withdraw it, and then they put it on anyway. And so then, after having reached an agreement with all of the parties as to how we were going to move forward with that bill, everything had to be changed because the ballot question was written in a certain way. So we really had it figured out, and then we had it back.
And the marijuana thing, that can be put on by the citizen, correct? I mean, that is a signature thing. That's not something that you guys are going to draft. I mean, this is going to be something that's
well, there are bills to legalize it.
Yes, but I mean, this is
But ballot questions aren't generated by the legislature. They're generally generated by the public.
We just delay their implementation.
So that would be I mean, I just for an example, when we approved, or some of us approved that Mr. Hillier's over there, we've had a flood of people from all over the country.
Chicago. Still happening.
Chicago, Colorado.
6,000 population, or 6,500 population town of Ayer is all of a sudden, and call and come and fly in and ask for.
This is the stoner capital of the world.
Yeah, I guess, but it's so. there are things you don't assume could happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. And sorry we kept you so long with a lot of questions, but if that sounds like a deal for us, Sheila and I will work with keeping on Roy and you guys with Mark, and hopefully we can just, it sounds like they've agreed, so it's just a matter of getting it together, and hopefully we've been cutting a ribbon down there in the spring.
No, I was hoping for fall.
Yeah, don't change that.
Yeah, I was hoping still fall.
Senator,
Which
I feel like maybe we haven't given you a chance to speak. Everyone else at this
Oh, God,
table
no.
has
I have
submitted.
chosen not to speak.
Okay, all right. Because just want to make sure.
Sitting in
He's a
between.
smart man.
I know.
He's the thorn
He's
between
sitting there
two
ready to do it,
roses.
and you're like, he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here.
Good
so.
call.
All right, I just want to make sure because
We're just trying to make his job easier.
Jamie says plenty, don't worry about it.
And Jen, thank you for making that call to National Grid today about the LED lights.
Oh, sure.
Just to kind of
Oh,
see
yeah,
where
we didn't even
stand.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So hopefully that'll expedite that, and we'll be getting some significant savings before winter.
Yeah, yeah, so they're predicting in the next few weeks, they'll have the inventory and the cost figured out and get that back to you. Apparently there are a few towns who jumped in front of you, so they're getting it done though.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, great. Good to see you.
Thanks for coming here.
Thank you.
Just along with you.
You all have a nice evening.
Good night, Jen. Yes. Good night, Sheila.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead and start.
Is that already ordered? No, he's with them.
No, yeah, he's,
How, can I ask you a question? How, and I'm saying this on camera, how do we have a reporter covering a meeting, reading a book? I mean, honestly,
we need to put out a press release after.
I don't know if I can handle it anymore. I mean, this is absurd.
Can we do that?
Yeah, it's the fifth novel of the summer.
But,
No, your point, I understood.
or napping.
Mr. Vice Chairman,
That's him.
yeah, Mr. Vice Chairman, through you to the board, if there's no
Take a motion
objection,
to adjourn.
there's no objection under my report in the interest of time, if I could ask Ms. Guiguino and Mr. Bacon to come up with Mr. Colleran for the appointment of Conservation Administrator.
What? Oh, did I miss this?
Yeah, so this is number 2, item number 2 under my report, and you have in your packet material provided by the Conservation Commission. The commission
How are you?
recommending appointment of Mr. Colleran as the Conservation Administrator, and through you, Mr. Vice Chairman, and the board, if Guiguino and Mr. Bacon. Gugino, I apologize.
It's not Italian, Jesse.
Can I just clarify, because I've been very confused with this, because we've had several people. This is to fill the position that you have been filling in the interim?
Right.
So,
So she says.
But
so,
you have to pay him.
I just took the,
Oh, snap.
we just took the report out of order, did this one first.
Yeah, sure, don't wait till I'm out of the room, that's okay.
So,
All right.
Our chairman sends
Welcome.
apologies. He had an important business engagement. It was expected to last 9 innings.
maybe more?
Okay.
So we've
Right.
conducted a second long search and come up with what we think is our best candidate, which is Brian Colleran. So you have his qualifications in front of you, and we hope you like him as much as we do.
He gave a very impressive answer in his interview on the impact of Japanese knotweed.
It was more of an essay than an answer, but
But it struck us that he would have great public outreach, public skills, and as we've been talking out in the corridor, he's been asking about opportunities to come up with proactive rather than reactive responses or outreach to the public, which George and I were thinking, yeah, you made a good choice.
All right. So, don't you gotta introduce yourself to us?
Well, I thought that was a great introduction. I don't know if I need to introduce myself any further. I'm me, and I don't know. What would you like to know? Set me off on a course, and I'll go that way. But
I already got a feel for you. It's okay.
Japanese what?
Not we. George has an infestation in his backyard.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. In native? Oh, in Georgia. Oh, okay.
it's bad stuff. In England, they would actually interrupt. Here, I won't go into just do the scary part. In England, they would interrupt mortgages if you had knotweed on your property.
Really? And
Yeah.
what is knotweed? It's a type of weed?
Yeah, it looks like bamboo.
It looks like what?
Bamboo.
Oh, okay.
It's the closest thing that would come to mind. But it'll eat through your foundation. It'll eat through fake rock because it's natural habitat. It eats through real rock.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not good.
So Brian, you're conservation member of Natick
Yeah.
and been doing that for a while?
No.
What's the short, sweet answer?
Okay, make a motion to approve Frank Bauer as administrative, conservation administrator for the town of Ayer, starting
Next Tuesday.
next Tuesday,
The 8th of
the
September.
8th of September. Is it an appointment or is it just a hire? It's a hire.
It's a hire.
That's it, I'm done.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair says aye.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have to say to you, first of all, the fact that you stepped up to the plate the way you did
Yes.
showed a lot of qualities that I don't think maybe some people were thinking about. It showed initiative. It showed attention to detail. It showed engagement. It showed leadership. Last month, I think it was last month, at our meeting, your chairman was here. Please bear with me.
We all said nice things.
What also came out when he was here is the fact that the whole committee, the whole team, how well you work together, all of you, that you all have a lot of respect for one another.
It's a good
That spoke very volumes. The fact that they were going to try to see what they could do more to assist you because of all the work that you've done. So I just want you to know that, especially being a veteran, there are certain things that I look for, and I've seen bad leaders, and I've seen a good leader.
Thank you.
And I gotta say also that the whole committee, and under the Chairman Daniels and everything, all of you have shown such initiative and such leadership that I think it's absolutely awesome, and I wanted to make sure that that got said out loud. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
especially you. Your work was very much appreciated.
And they're good people, stay for a while, please.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with that warning now, like
Yeah.
the boots that I have to fill in here all of a sudden just got
Exactly.
bigger.
Absolutely. She did it without pay.
Yeah.
He's been worried that I'll be bereft and,
Not at all.
She's
Yeah,
gonna
she's
jump
gonna stay
and
away
go.
for a while.
There you go.
Show the meeting nights. Nothing wrong with that, that's what I do.
But again, thank you all of you,
Thank
for
you.
everything that you do. It's
Well,
greatly
good luck,
appreciated.
Brian. I mean, you got our support and stuff.
Apologize for keeping you waiting too, I know our agendas never go according to plan, but thanks for being patient.
That was an intriguing bit to finish up with and listen in on, though. So
Yeah,
I learned my new thing for the day.
yeah, it's exciting here, our reporter never writes about it, but we have a lot of good things going on here.
Madam Chair, through you, while the members of the commission are still here, the third item under my report is a recommendation for appointment to the Conservation Commission member. As you know, Ms. Lee Curtis had resigned some time ago due to work commitments, and we do miss her and wish her the best. And you have in your packet a letter submitted by Ms. Bonnie Tillotson to be appointed to fill that vacancy, and having reviewed that letter and meeting briefly, or talking briefly with Bonnie, you can see in the letter, she has an excellent background. She is a scientist as her daytime occupation, but of all the letters we've often received on this position, this one here actually talks in some detail about the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, which the commission, much better versed than I am in it, but definitely a command of the subject matter. Again, that initiative, her and her husband are relatively new to town. Some of you may know he was recently elected to the planning board. And the commission has voted unanimously to recommend this appointment, and I'm just adding on to that as the town administrator. I'd recommend the appointment of Miss Bonnie Tillotson to the position of Conservation Commission member. And I believe Bonnie had a previous conflict and
that was my question.
Couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, but as I know is the standard practice, but I can vouch, as I know members of the commission can, to her candidacy. Thank you.
Gary?
That was like my motion. So we'll make a motion to approve Bonnie Tillotson to the empty conservation.
The vacancy on the,
commission.
yep. For a term to expire.
This was filling out Lee Curtis's,
Yeah.
and I guess it was on for a year.
Last year, is it 2 more years?
It is 2 more years, so to expire June 30th of 2017.
Second.
Motion's been, okay.
No, I just want to make a comment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I've talked to Bonnie before, and I know Jeff, and they're both, very good people from Belmont. They were very active, and she seems like she'd be a good fit on the board. Obviously, you do. I mean, I think they had to kind of talk her into it, but I think she'll be important for the town, a good fit. So.
And has a sense of humor, which we require.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Is that on the board now? You guys are full, right? Great.
Yeah.
All right, motion was made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair says
Absolute
aye.
sense of humor.
And congratulations to Miss Bonnie Tillotson. Tillotson. All right, good one.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Brian.
Thanks.
Madam Chair, through you to the board, just 2 more items under my report. Under the administrative update, I tried to put in a memo to the board, which is also on the website, sort of the overview of the major projects and the stage being set over the summer as we rapidly approach into the fall. Just a couple of quick highlights. As some of you may have noticed in some of the offices, the town hall office carpet replacement project is underway and will be completed on September 24th. The 3rd floor and 2nd floor are done, and the front of the 1st floor was done last Friday. And
good.
it
I haven't seen it.
it looks nice. It ties the project in nicely as
Matches this.
supported by the board and approved by town meeting. The non-union personnel compensation study, on August 18th, the Personnel Board did vote to approve the job descriptions as put forth by the HRS study through amendment. There was a whole process on that. Those are on the website under the Personnel Board's webpage. Also on the 18th, they did approve a classification and compensation plan. And in accordance, they've advertised for 2 consecutive weeks. There'll be a public hearing tomorrow, Wednesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. regarding their recommendations. And after the conclusion of that public hearing, the Personnel Board will be submitting that material to the board for consideration on the fall town meeting warrant. At least that's the plan.
Is that thing out of date yet?
It was out of date, hence why from April to now, we spent just to bring it up to date. So, but you will receive all
What
of
a waste of money.
materials.
And I don't think it cost us anything, and it was a waste of money.
We withheld some of the payment on that because of issues.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
You're 100% correct.
The comprehensive plan committee is going to have its first official meeting the end of this month. A lot of time and effort. I think it's September 29th. I think it's September 29th. It'll be the first
email went out?
kickoff
6
meeting.
o'clock.
The email went out at 6 o'clock tonight?
No, the email went out a couple weeks ago, and the meeting's at 6 o'clock on the 29th.
I remember the email, but okay, 6 o'clock. All right.
And
thank you.
so that process will be underway. The IT committee has had a series of meetings, and coming to you very shortly is the town website redesign and update. A lot of effort went into this, and I think you'll be pleased when you see it. That'll be coming forth, and it was a lot of detail.
Yeah, it's getting there.
And it will also support further enhance the online payment as well as the online permitting, which is
That's going to go live with this
underway.
new,
Yeah, the online payments that we have up to date will go live with this.
I'm talking more about the permits.
And the permitting we're on schedule, which was for the end of this calendar year for to unveil that component to it. But all of the functionality is in this website. You heard about, we just found out we got the grant on the Energy Committee had been working on the DOER for the pumps and the street lights are moving forward. And then, though we're only 2 months into FY16, the FY17 budget process is sort of underway. We'll have the capital planning convening in October, water and sewer rate, and the tax classification scheduled for probably the end of November, the first meeting in December.
Capital, we're going to start this mid-October.
Yeah, that's the general intent. And then finally, Dr. Malone had a kickoff event yesterday for all the returning teachers and staff in the high school auditorium. There was a lot of energy there. School opened today. We received no complaints, which is good, or concerns. So I think everything is off for a very successful school year. And I look forward to a very productive fall and winter as we move forward. So again, there's more detail in the memo, and I know we're back to the first and third Tuesdays, and so there's lots to be done.
Do we, I'm sorry, Janice, back to the planning board and their study up there, do we have to make a decision on that or vote any more on that?
No, that's
So we're done with that?
You're done with that.
Timeframe on that? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
The last item by amendment tonight, and thank you to the board for that amendment, is the status of the town's sex offender residency bylaw. As the board is aware, but for the public's benefit, on this past Friday, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court issued a ruling in the case of Doe versus the City of Lynn. In this case, the Supreme Court of Massachusetts has ruled that sex offender residency bylaws and/or ordinances in the case of cities, very similar to the one that the town of Ayer adopted at the fall town meeting of 2012 and was implemented in 2013, have been rendered by the court last Friday to be unconstitutional under the state constitution. As a result of that decision, multiple communities, not just Ayer, across the Commonwealth, have been advised by their town council, including our town council, specifically Attorney Riley, which some of you may have remembered that was involved with this. Town council has advised the town, not just us, the Mass Chiefs Association. Chief Murray also belongs to, there's a chief legal group for police chiefs, and Chief Murray and I have talked about this, that we've been advised at this time that we cannot enforce the town of Ayer's sex offender residency bylaw. Specifically, the reason we can't is this court decision has rendered it unenforceable. To enforce it would be, at this time, in violation of state law, and if we were to pursue that in that manner to enforce it, we'd be in violation of state law, and it greatly increases the town's legal exposure. Both Chief Murray and I are not thrilled about this, and town council is very sensitive to the concerns that this board, along with members of the school committee at the time, and this whole town, including town meeting, was very supportive of this and passed it, as many other communities did, and that's what the town wanted. And as this board knows, you successfully defended a legal challenge, and just for the record, the case of King versus the town of Ayer is independent of this. That was a private citizen challenge, but the town prevailed. But at the end of the day, the Supreme Court in the state has made this ruling. And it's very frustrating because the legislative intent of the town, the legislative intent of town meeting, the intent of this board, town meeting, et cetera,
We know.
at this time, no official vote is required of the board. What Chief Murray and the chief was planning to be here and is working on ongoing other matter for the town. As the chief policy-making board for the town, I felt it incumbent that we publicly discuss this briefly, and just for the public's benefit, that effective tomorrow, it is in the best interest of the town that the sex offender residency bylaw, we will stop enforcing it to be in compliance with state law. There is discussion at this point. What we're recommending is that the bylaw just sit as long as we're not actively enforcing it. We're in compliance. The issue as to whether the bylaw needs to be rescinded by town meeting is out there. Town council will be issuing further guidance on this because there's a whole bunch of cities and towns in the same boat. At this time, because I asked, do we have to rescind it? Something that the board can consider but doesn't have to at this time. I think we need to wait. If you saw in the material from the Chiefs Association too, the only way that this will change, because this is a Supreme Court decision, is if the legislature takes legislative action. And the feeling,
I wish
the feeling is that on the list of priorities and so forth, that we won't see that anytime soon, and that's not a reflection on the legislature.
Protecting children from pedophiles is not high on the list of the legislature.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean,
No, I think that,
And I don't mean that towards our delegation.
Just to kind of reiterate, this is a state law. We're having to follow it. None of us are happy about it.
Yeah.
Please ensure that this gets a proper posting
Yes.
on Facebook and everything, because there are going to be some confusion.
Yeah.
Getting this up.
So until such time, we will keep you posted. And all I can say is to everyone that the safety of the children is still important to all of us, as to you. And all of us are just going to have to focus our eyes a little bit better and just pay attention and make sure that everyone stays safe.
Yeah, and again, as the chair just said, this is no reflection of the town. The town's hands are tied, and not just the town of Ayer. I forget how many towns now have bylaws. Many modeled them after Ayer's in many cities, so.
Gary?
Can we take the bull by the horns? Can we change the bylaw to something that another town may have had that is different?
Through the chair, unfortunately,
I know town council is erring on the side of caution.
Not even,
and they don't want to.
Yeah, through the chair.
Exactly.
In
On
the
everything.
in the interest of time, and this will be provided, we'll put the link so the public can read the actual decision of. It's quite lengthy, but it's 27 pages long. But in the Doe versus the City of Lynn case, the Supreme Court has upheld that such legislative action by town meeting to have a bylaw, a residency bylaw, is unconstitutional, and has further interpreted that such power rests with the state legislature.
So what we all have to do is get a hold of our state legislature.
Right.
And make sure that they take the bull by the horns so that they can create the legislation that we can then build a bylaw with.
Right, to Selectman Luca's question, which is a very good one, because it's one of the first thoughts that many of us had was, can we alter it? Can we change it? And in this court decision, not only was it ruled unconstitutional, but the decision further goes on that it has been ruled that the power to legislate this rests solely with the state legislature and not with cities and towns.
And keep them in jail.
They don't want to do that.
No,
either.
they don't want to do that. Reform. Could I suggest that, and they do a good job of it now, that the police department be more open and publicize the the registered sex offenders and where they are. I know they do a good job of it now. They post them at Peroni, they post them at the school, they post them at, I think they post them at the post office, correct?
No,
And
they don't
post them on
anymore.
Facebook.
Post them on
You can see
Facebook.
Yeah.
Post them here, but, I mean, and I know Chief does a good job, but maybe step that up if possible, so residents know. I know there was a lot of talk of someone who moved up into the Devon's area that was recently released, that was posted for the town.
Yes.
But
Right.
I think, especially with these schools who have felt like they've been protected, and we know what we have up the street, or used to have up the street before the bylaw.
And I think
We don't
should-
want that coming back again without people knowing.
Finally,
Did you answer my question?
Well, they
Yes.
still have to report where
Yeah.
they live, so we would still be able to report where they live.
yes, I'll ask the chief, to Selectman Hillman's point, we'll do a review as far as our outreach and posting
Right.
of all of that, and to be extra vigilant with that. I know the chief takes it
I'd be
seriously.
happy to post it on APAC if we could do it.
Yeah, I know
honestly-
some communities, I know in,
Sorry,
where I live in
did the crime,
Fitchburg,
deal
yeah,
with it.
local access TV does, when there aren't programs, occasionally will put those on. That's
Yeah.
something we could look into.
No problem.
And I will have to find out, I know at one point there was
Paper.
discussion of legislation involving increased or more notification involving level 2 sex offenders. I don't know where that stands, but I can check with the chief as well. There is no question, and there is no question the level of frustration on something like this, because respectfully, the Ayer folks know what's best for Ayer and the Ayer town meeting, and you all did a fabulous job through this whole process, and it was at a huge cost in time and resources. The town spent close to $20,000 in legal fees just to get this
Well, it
approved by
worked.
town meeting.
For at least 3 or 4
And-
years, so.
Well, then the town was sued and spent $130,000, granted it was covered under insurance, defending a private legal challenge, and now we're required, as everybody else is, to not enforce it pending legislative action.
Okay.
So that's the update, I think. The board for your time, and that does conclude my report.
It's driving me crazy.
So yeah, make sure,
Order.
please
Yes.
make sure, like, it's posted everywhere, but also maybe a short, sweet, to the
Like a
point
summary.
public notice or
Coming out.
something
Yeah.
to kind of give the short
I can't
format
remember.
so that they can then lead into the big one.
Yeah, and we'll link the 27-page decision, so that the
Right.
public, I'm just...
Right,
you
but
know,
also just kind of a big
Wait.
headline of,
Yep.
hey, attention everyone, this is what's going on. And then it'll also lead them to the whole
Well, it would be-
27 page too.
I agree with you. It should be the front page headline of the newspaper, but
Yeah.
it won't even get mentioned.
And Chief Murray did send his regrets, and he did say if the board had any questions, or if the public had any questions, to direct
You know
those
what I
to the
mean.
Yeah.
chief or to my office. So,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
Well, when Mary and I go down,
For the other.
we'll talk about this too, so. Want me to bring my gavel?
Bring the
Wave it
mallet.
at people. Bring the rubber mallet. Well, it doesn't fit in my purse. All right. Gary?
What?
Well, you're under new business selectmen's questions.
Can I pass on that till next meeting?
Okay. Chris, did you have anything you wanted to?
Unless you wanted to talk about it, Chris.
No.
You know, honestly, Gary, I agree with you, and it should be brought up, but it doesn't get reported, it doesn't get mentioned. and by
I know,
the
we
time
can't
of the
even get
meeting-
it into the paper.
Pierre, are you the reporter full-time, or are you just filling in?
It feels like it, yeah. I don't understand this particular story that well, so.
But we keep asking you to report what we're saying in the meeting. Last month, we specifically said, could you report what we're talking about right now?
Right.
And you didn't,
On what was it?
on what we're talking about
This
right
subject
now.
here. This subject here?
The compliance with the Mass General Law, Chapter
Right.
32B, 9.5,
Right.
A.5.
Right, now, you have to, I don't know what that is, so like, I
Well,
keep reading that. I don't know
Well,
what
we've
it is, so-
explained it a
that's-
few times, but we specifically
How
said,
about-
could you put it in the newspaper that we even talked about it?
Because I thought.
And you wouldn't, and you could have asked.
No, I think I did. This is what I think it is. I don't know what it is. What is this now?
Can, Robert, can you talk to
teach him.
Robert offline?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
And
to
he'll
write this
fill you
tonight.
in?
I have to write this tonight, so,
Oh.
I could call Tom tomorrow and do a separate thing on it, maybe.
because we've only discussed it a few times.
Bottom line is this law gives the towns the ability to collect health insurance, retiree health insurance from employees that have worked in other towns.
Okay.
We bill them, we get billed, and our treasurer has yet to do that.
Right, I think I did report on that at least once.
Yeah?
At least I tried to. I didn't do it every single week because there wasn't no new information on it, I think.
No.
Well, the fact that we keep
That's
bringing it up
exactly
every
right.
single meeting, it should go in, and the selectmen talked again about Mass General Law, Chapter 32, B9 and A and a half. So, yeah, that would be newsworthy. Because we talked about
I think, I'm sure I put it in once, at least once. And if nothing new was added, maybe that's why I didn't.
Well, I guess my point is you're temporary, right? You're filling in because you cover
As far
Groton,
as I
correct?
know, I'm temporary.
All right, just because a lot of the residents they don't watch the meetings. They have DirecTV,
Yeah.
so some of the stuff and the synopsises are good, but there's stories behind the planning board or the delegation tonight. I mean, we talked about a bunch of things. I think the rail thing is what is on everybody's mind. The sex offender bylaw thing is huge. So I guess we don't need our names mentioned. We're just looking for the story to get out there. That's all.
And,
Thank you for asking.
and on that note, I also want to point out that the agendas get posted, what is it, the library, the post office, where else?
They get, through the chair, they're physically required to
out
post
here.
it here. Copies are available in the selectman's office.
Selectmen's office.
They go on the town website,
Town website,
calendar.
right, no, but where's the physical postings?
The physical posting is here, and the legal one, and the town clerk often puts one on
Right.
the outer board.
But don't we put it somewhere else too?
No,
Okay.
just those are the warrants, yeah.
Okay, but, so we also have it on the website, and it is now being posted on Facebook.
I was going to
So-
say, I think I saw that.
Yes, so we are doing everything we can to ensure you, the residents, have the information of the agenda. Other than a phone call, that's it. So I don't think you want us calling you every week with the robocall, reading you the agenda, but we're doing everything we can to at least get you out the agenda so
Can I
that you
Twitter?
have it, and maybe
You can try.
be more involved, come in, ask questions.
May I ask, too, you were, Robert, and you were writing the synopsis?
Yes.
Yes,
And it was
we
good.
should do that,
And,
again.
like on Facebook, just briefly kind of touching on what we approved and what the delegation said.
Right.
So what we'll do, when I say we, Ms. Antonellis and I now, because I think that seems to work too, we will, on Wednesday after each meeting, we will put a synopsis. There's the disclaimers on there for those that, it's not official minutes, we put,
Right,
no,
right,
it's
right.
just, but it's just a
Questions were
summary,
asked.
it's like
Just
action,
questions asked.
action.
Right, and then that, if they're
Yeah.
interested, it leads them to
Yeah.
come to one of us, to you, to get further
We'll
information.
make that a standing
Mhm.
synopsis.
Because it's
Yeah.
like stuff like the grant stuff. I mean, that's
Right.
great news that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, we
Right.
try to
A lot
put
of
all
people
your
don't know about the
action
increase
items.
in the enrollment at the school.
Right.
I mean, I guess it wasn't in the paper this week, but
No.
Yeah.
yeah, good. Written by
All
somebody
right.
else. That's it, right?
Yeah, so, okay, so I reviewed the minutes, and I did have her make one little update that I believe that she then emailed back out. Other than that, they looked good.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th, 2015 BOS meeting.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
What we vote?
Minutes. Motion's been made, seconded.
Make a
All
motion
in
to
favor?
adjourn.
You gotta wait till I finish this motion. All in
Takes
favor?
them long enough, aye.
Gosh.
You just made the.
I know, but you didn't let me finish. The minutes have been passed. Go.
No, I'm not saying it now. Chris, you want to leave? You.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
All right, we'll sit here. Who would you like to discuss?
Let me see.